But Palestinian people are not disposable. We are human beings, just like anyone else. My city, my grandmother, like all Palestinians, just wants to live her life with freedom and human dignity we all deserve. Speaking up to save lives, Mr. Chair, no matter faith, no matter ethnicity, should not be controversial in this chamber. The cries of the Palestinian and Israeli children sound no different to me.
United States of America
Why?
Funding in solidarity the people of Israel in defense of their right to exist. That by virtue of our position as Americans, standing in front of that flag in this chamber representing 330 million Americans.
In this explosive episode of Nasir Khan, we're diving into one of the most heated and emotional moments ever seen inside Congress: Rashida Tlaib's fiery and controversial defense of Hamas rhetoric on the House floor. After Hamas's brutal terrorist attack that slaughtered innocent Israeli civilians, Rashida Tlaib doubled down, defiantly repeating the slogan "From the river to the sea," a phrase long tied to the elimination of Israel itself. While some Democrats tried to disguise it as free speech, patriotic Americans are asking the real question: when did freedom of speech turn into freedom from accountability?
This debate is about. With that, I yield 4 minutes to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized for 4 minutes.
I thank the gentleman from Georgia for his time. And with respect to the gentleman from Maryland, I understand the perspectives with respect to free speech. And I certainly wish to always stand aside the protection of free speech in this country. But this goes well beyond that, because we're not talking about restraining the gentleladies from Michigan's ability to speak as an American citizen. We're not talking about punishing her, putting her in jail. What we're talking about is whether a member of the United States House of Representatives, whether a member of this body representing this nation, is justified in putting forward a defense of the actions of Hamas terrorists that murdered innocent Israeli citizens, is holding United States citizens and Israelis hostage, and in her own language was defending on October 8th, a mere 24 hours into the brutal and barbaric attacks in which babies were beheaded. Babies were placed into ovens, literally. Moms were raped in a house while their babies were put in an oven. A documented account, video evidence. And this is dismissed as resistance to an apartheid state. My problem is that the gentlelady is also referring to, quote, Joe Biden supporting the genocide of the Palestinian people. The gentlelady has put forward that by virtue of the United States of America funding in solidarity the people of Israel in defense of their right to exist, that by virtue of our position as Americans, standing in front of that flag in this chamber representing 330 million Americans, that by funding and supporting Israel, we are somehow perpetuating the call for violence that we saw unfold right before our eyes on October 7th in the most brutal and heinous acts that some of us have ever seen. I do not doubt the gentlelady's sincerity of her concern for her home people and concerns about the attacks on the people of Gaza. I had some people who called into question that I would put out my public support for my former colleague, Justin Amash, who lost cousins in a church, receiving missile fire into a building next to a church. I genuinely pray for the people of Israel, the people of Gaza, the people throughout the world that are now dealing with all of this. But the gentlelady cannot, as a member of Congress, be standing up and telling the world that what we saw unfold in attacking Israel is justified. We can't. Free speech matters. I have grave concern right now about where this institution is going with respect to censures. I voted against the censure last week because I thought it had drafting problems, and I thought it had significant concerns it raised. I believe the work that was done by my friend from Georgia here put forward a resolution that is worthy of support. And so I support the resolution and believe that we should pass it. I thank the gentleman from Georgia.
Reserved.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman reserved. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
I recognize the gentlelady from Massachusetts for 1 minute.
The gentlelady is recognized for 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in opposition to this censure resolution that is blatantly Islamophobic, anti-democratic, and an utter waste of time. This resolution is as dishonest as it is unproductive. Any member who denies that Congresswoman Tlaib is opposed to the killing of civilians, Israeli, Palestinian, and Americans alike, is willfully ignoring the truth. Representative Talib was elected by voters in Michigan to do exactly what she does best: advocate for a better, safer, more just world. She leads with love, speaks truth to power, and seeks justice even when her life and that of her family and her staff are threatened. As a daughter, mother, sister, friend, advocate, and effective duly elected 3-term first ever Palestinian American member of Congress, she has been a much needed voice in an institution that has too often failed to listen. Today, Republicans are again attacking a Democratic colleague just because they don't like what she has to say. Another shame.
If you believe in truth, patriotism, and the courage to stand up for what's right, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, because here, we don't whisper the truth, we broadcast it. I just watched this congressional debate unfold, and honestly what we're seeing in our own House of Representatives is both heartbreaking and infuriating. Lawmakers were arguing over whether Rashida Tlaib, a sitting member of Congress, should be censured for her ongoing anti-Israel rhetoric that echoes the very words used by Hamas terrorists who butchered men, women, and children on October 7. Some members stood on that floor defending her speech as if it were a bold stand for free thought. But let's be crystal clear, this isn't about free speech. This is about moral clarity. This is about whether the people elected to represent the United States of America will stand with our allies or with the butchers of innocent civilians. Rashida Tlaib publicly repeated the phrase "from the river to the sea." She claims it's about freedom and coexistence, but anyone who's cracked open a history book knows what that phrase truly means. It's not a call for peace, it's a call for destruction, a chant used by groups that openly seek to wipe Israel off the map inch by inch, life by life. And yet she repeats it with pride. Even more shocking is how figures like Jamie Raskin tried to twist this into a First Amendment issue. He delivered a polished textbook speech about freedom of expression, comparing it to moments of historic dissent in America's past. But here's the truth. Since when did freedom of speech mean freedom from consequence? Since when did it mean a sitting member of Congress could parrot terrorist slogans and face no accountability? There's a vast difference between disagreement and moral blindness, between challenging policy and echoing genocide. Yet in that chamber, too many lawmakers acted like defending hate was an act of courage. And outside those walls, the consequences are real: Jewish students hiding in libraries while mobs chant outside, protesters in American streets yelling "Glory to our martyrs," a Jewish man in California killed during an Israel rally. This isn't free speech. This is what happens when hatred gets a microphone and cowardice gets applause. Meanwhile, Rashida Tlaib stands on the House floor, tears in her eyes, claiming she's being silenced even as her words echo across every news cycle in America. She paints herself as a victim, while ignoring the real victims, the families burned alive, the children executed, the civilians slaughtered by Hamas. She talks about justice and dignity, but where's the justice for the babies ripped from their mothers? Where's the dignity in defending terrorists who hide behind their own civilians? A Navy SEAL, a man who saw the aftermath of Hamas's massacre firsthand, spoke that day, describing the burned homes, the mutilated families, the horror that no camera could ever fully capture. That's not propaganda, that's reality. And anyone who still tries to blur the line between good and evil after hearing that has lost their moral compass completely. This isn't politics anymore. This is about decency. It's about whether America will stand with civilization or excuse barbarism. Israel is our ally, the only democracy in a sea of chaos, and when they're attacked we don't hesitate, we stand beside them. That's what real leadership looks like. Yes, Rashida Tlaib has the right to speak, but Congress has the right and the duty to make it clear that her words do not speak for America. The censure isn't about silencing her. It's about drawing a line in the sand, a line that says this country will not tolerate anti-Semitism or the glorification of terror inside the people's house. What's truly sickening is how moral cowardice has become fashionable. Instead of condemning evil, too many people try to understand it. They talk about context while innocent families are buried. Well, here's your context. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Israel is a sovereign democracy defending its people. And America should be standing shoulder to shoulder with them, not apologizing for it. This debate didn't just expose Rashida Tlaib. It exposed how far some of our leaders have fallen, how they've forgotten what America truly stands for. But we the people haven't. We still believe in truth, in freedom, and standing with our allies and standing against evil no matter who it offends. If you agree that it's time to bring back moral courage and call out hypocrisy wherever it hides, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who still believes America should stand for something. Because silence isn't neutrality, it's surrendered. I'm Nasir, and this is Nasir Khan, where we stand for truth, faith, and freedom no matter who tries to shut us up.